Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about medical astrology and Neptune. I'm going to talk about the body parts that Neptune corresponds with in astrology and talk about health related, physical related issues that are associated with this planet. Now, as far as astrology goes, first off, well, as far as the body parts go, Neptune is associated with the feet, the toes, the lymphatic system, drugs, alcohol. It could be chemicals. It could even be sometimes inadvertent chemical assimilation, the mucous membranes, diseases in general. As many of you may know, of course, we're going through the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. Neptune is currently in Pisces, and Neptune rules diseases, and Pisces can be about ones that can't be eradicated or cured. Neptune can also be associated with misdiagnosis. It can be diseases that are very nebulous or unclear, the ones that could be very confounding to others. It could be ones that doctors might have a hard time ascertaining, and it might take them longer to actually determine in an individual as far as a disease goes or a health affliction. It could be phlegmatic issues. Also, remember, Neptune is associated with dissolving and dissipation. You have, like, say, if you're having like a transit Neptune conjunct your Sun, your ascendant, your Mars, even an adverse aspect to it, it may dissolve your vitality and energy may feel like it's dissolving and dissipating. Now, some of you may know this, others may not. But there was something that was stated on some television program I saw one time that when people are climbing, like they're in mountains and they ascend to very high altitudes, that the body actually begins to deteriorate. Actually, it starts to become smaller and shrinks. That's what Neptune energy is about, dissolving. It's like if somebody, especially like say they're in a situation where they're in a greater propensity for the body becoming smaller, like what I described, like climbing a mountain or something, that and they have a transit like I described with Neptune, then you have a very strong possibility of that kind of something really happening where the body is literally like starting to dissolve and dissipate and get smaller. And anyway, also Neptune could be associated with lethargy and sleepiness and also belly fat. It can be connected, I would say, with allergies too. Um, this is I had a prominent family member. I don't remember this exactly 100%, but I believe she had Neptune may have been close to her Jupiter in her chart, which would actually intensify. It could be allergic issues, but even if she didn't, if you take somebody that's got, say, Neptune conjunct their Jupiter, that could be a person, because remember, Jupiter has the tendency, despite being very benign and benevolent, Jupiter could have a tendency to enlarge and expand and exacerbate. If Jupiter is conjunct one's Neptune, in some cases, this could manifest in very enlarged allergy issues. So anyway, and if you have, say, in your natal chart, now, if Neptune is afflicted natally, it may manifest in Neptune-related physical and health dilemmas, like what I had described before as an examples with diseases, issues with the lymphatic system, the feet, the toes. If you have Neptune afflicted natally, you might be more susceptible to issues with the coronavirus. And also people that have Pisces, like a Pisces Sun, Ascendant, or Mars, they might not. I mean, Pisces is the sign associated with diseases, and Pisces is not known to have a robust immune system. They have very strong susceptibility to things like the coronavirus. And anyway, now, in my chart, I actually know, as an example, I have Mercury in conjunct my Neptune in my natal chart, and as many of you may know, inconjuncts can often be about adjustments in astrology. Neptune can be associated with the feet. That could be an adjustment for me in terms of the feet, which is Neptune, and mobility, which is Mercury could be associated with mobility. I actually do have difficulties walking for any great extensive distance due to issues. Well, I have some issues with the feet, but I have the also have some spastic activity that's going on near my ankle area, where that's really more Uranus. And I talked about in the previous video, I do have Uranus conjunct my sixth house cusp in my natal chart. But also remember that Neptune can be about weaknesses as well. So it's probably, as far as my issues I have with my hands and the arms and nerve damage with it, it's probably not helping that Neptune is making an conjunct aspect to my Mercury, so that could really give weaknesses in some cases with the hands, the wrists, the arms, because you're talking about in conjunction astrology can be about health related matters, and Neptune and Mercury being involved. Mercury, of course, could be associated with the hands and the arms, and even with the nerves as well. Mercury and Uranus can be associated with the nerves in astrology. Now, transits that involve Neptune can factor in to debilitations with the physical body and health-related situations. Now, I believe it was April of 2020, TV news journalist Chris Cuomo from CNN. Many of you may know he's got a show that's on CNN. I believe it's on the weeknights. He had transit Neptune at the least, making a loose inconjunct aspect to his natal sun in Leo, and he had been tested positive for the coronavirus COVID-19 at this time. And the thing is, despite even having a Leo sun, which of course is very strong, and sun and Leo people can often have near indefatigable, inexorable energy, he had the transit from Neptune, which of course is associated with diseases. Inconjuncts can be about health-related matters again, and Neptune and Pisces specifically can manifest in diseases that ones that can't be eradicated or cured, and it really did hit him hard at the time, and he had it for a lengthy period, and he's even having after effects repercussions from this. He stated something about brain fog, which I'm surmising he believes that's a result of having the coronavirus, so that could be a possibility. I'm sure there are some adverse effects that happen that can affect you even after the coronavirus has left your system. Now, another thing too to remember is that progressions in a chart that involve Neptune may manifest or result in health-related issues connected with the planet. Let's say, for example, that in someone's progressed chart, they have Neptune making an adverse aspect to their Sun, their Mars, or their ascendant. Now, this could manifest in a multitude of ways. Person might be feeling more lethargic, more sleepy, having a harder time taking action and doing things. The body may feel a little bit more weaker and more sluggish. In some cases, like say if this is making the Neptune is making an adverse aspect to Mars, this could manifest in some cases as muscle weakness or muscle tiredness at this time. You have some, say if Mars is making an adverse aspect to Uranus in the progressed chart, this may result in some issues where you might be having disruptions. I'm sorry, I mean if Neptune is making an adverse aspect to Uranus in the progressed chart, this may manifest in some erratic sleep-related issues, because remember, Neptune can be about our sleep, our dreams, and Uranus is very erratic and sporadic energy. Now, in synastry, let's take an example. Let's say that somebody has this, let's say two people have the South Node conjunct Neptune in a synastry aspect. Now, as I've spoken about in previous videos, the South Node is about energy we're taking away. South Node in synastry, the South Node person may often drain certain energy from the planet person. If the South Node is conjunct Neptune in a synastry aspect, well, the Neptune energy, it's really more, Neptune can be connected with really altruism and self-sacrifice. So the South Node person it could be a situation where they're taking advantage of the self-sacrificing energy of the Neptune person, and it may cause some issues. I mean, if the Neptune person is doing a lot of self-sacrificing, or the South Node person, of course, energy may be expended, and that might be something that might hurt the Neptune person's vitality and energy. So, um, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.